All right, can I get into it? Because I'm about to blow.
All right, if it's time to rock, I would like to welcome you all to the Stardom Fan Podcast. I'm Mark,
I'm Juno.
and we are the only show willing to go up against Seth Rollins doing something on Monday Night Raw. How are you today, Juno?
You want to say that again? Going live against
How are
what?
Monday Night Raw?
Oh,
Seth Rollins?
Seth Rollins.
I don't know. I get I don't even, I get an email, like a WWE email is like, "Don't miss tonight. Seth Rollins is on Raw." I'm like, "Oh, I think I'll miss it."
How about I'd uninstall the app I used to watch their TV show or their pay-per-views because it would tell me spoilers as they were happening.
Yo, that their shit was so bad. Like if you followed them on Twitter and like you were streaming the old WWE network, their Twitter would tell you who won before like it was like live on your TV. Like, hey
They
assholes.
would go to Twitter and use the hashtag Monday Night Rollins versus AJ Styles. And you go, okay. And it's like, oh my god, a new champion. I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is a beer run match.
uh, what's keeping you sane these days?
Well, Seth Rollins, from one cult leader to a fucking other, I got a bone to pick with this fucking We Are Stardom. Whoever runs this Twitter account. Do you know how many days and every fucking day is a tastic day with this guy? And I don't want to have a tastic day. I don't want to have a no. That's it. I don't want to have a tastic day.
Oh, I'm having a fantastic day.
Well, I'm fucking not, and I don't want to, and I refuse to. Tam Nakano is. I want to be positive, so I gotta censor myself. But this motherfucker who runs the We Are Stardom official English Twitter account with his Tams and his fucking double belt shitty champion trying to tell me to have what kind of day I want to have. I don't want to have a Tamtastic day. I like being fucking miserable, and it's gonna stay that way.
Well,
Son of
this
a
doesn't seem
bitch.
like a great way to start a show.
Well, then you have yourself a Tamtastic day.
I have had a fantastic day. Actually, I just her song is like stuck in my head all day, every day, and it is fantastic. It goes Tam Nakano, yeah. Tam Nakano, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you just take my Utami song and put a
No, that song is fantastic.
Did you just say my Utami song is Tamtastic? Anyways, you said, hey, go on Twitter, check out what's on Twitter, do like keep me updated. I don't do that shit. And I said, okay. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do this shit either when I have to have fucking people telling me about Tam Nakano. This is what we need to be paying attention to. If you go to the real Stardom Twitter, the actual Japanese one, not the fucking guy who runs their English account and is easily probably a cult member himself. This is what we need to be talking about.
I want to talk about
The
like
Venus.
Uncanny Valley. What happened to her face?
What's wrong with her face? It's beautiful.
The whole thing looks filtered and odd. Like it ran through one of your anime filters.
That's the thing is like you can't believe that's a real photo. That's how great it
Because
looks.
it looks she's cross-eyed.
No, you're cross-eyed. She looks amazing. Amazing.
Well, generally. I mean, she looks fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, you can if you're deciding which Twitter account is worth following. Also, one of them posts like as we were talking about WWE, like the second a match, even though it's not allowed, the pay-per-views aren't allowed to go on Stardom World for like 3 or 4 days for pay-per-view rights. The English Twitter, like the second after a match happens, will spoil everything. Meanwhile, this is like they don't tell you any of the results on the Japanese Twitter, and then they're like, "Hey, check out Tokyo Sports. Yeah, we're covered by Real News."
Well, how you feeling about the social media minute today?
I got some
Any good
stuff.
storylines going on other than being untamtastic?
Yeah, there is a fashion show which I'm gonna play.
Like you.
Oh, I probably bring this up because if you guys don't watch the press conferences, like they used to be about the wrestling and the matches and like what's gonna happen at a pay per view, but now it's just like 90% fashion.
What video is this?
There was this. I told you these press conferences are just a fashion show now. The wrestling
Oh.
is irrelevant.
I gotta go back. I was watching it, but I was on my phone, so I didn't have the ability to clip anything. When it was between Saya and someone else during the live stream power rankings, and you were saying all these things that I forgot who it was. It was someone in Saya, and you were like, "Yeah, Starlight." She's like, "Yeah, Starlight's more entertaining. She's better at this. She's better at this." I mean, granted, Saya's a better wrestler. I'll give you that, but this is a wrestling power ranking. There's no place for that. There's something like that was your quote, so that's gonna definitely be a clip of the day. That was fantastic.
Just like this photo, we got a picture of Starlight Kid grabbing Nene by the hair. That seems like a fair fight. You know,
This seems like Starlight. What did Starlight have to do to deserve this? Now Nene's got to be beat up by, or Starlight's got to get beat up by Nene.
is there another sport besides football where someone can be 2 feet taller than you and have probably like 80 pounds on you, and you got to get into a fight? And even football, you have like an equally sized like meat mountain in front of you if you're the quarterback to try to protect you. I don't think Starlight stands a chance. But then again, she is used to fighting from underneath. But I wanted to show you on Twitter this will be fun. You describe what you're saying for the podcast. So there's the first picture.
We're going through the press conference, and we have Mirai with 8-inch lifts, apparently towering over Tam.
Mm-hmm.
And I do appreciate Mirai in the pantsuit and Tam
Yes.
looking all pretty.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and they're posing. Now what do you see? It's a little slideshow.
Oh, this is fantastic. Now Tam comes and brings out cake. I like her red hair, by the way. Utami used to have hair that cool.
Nah, that's pink hair. It's like almost like she stole it from a better wrestler. So Tam Nakano is bringing out 2 plates of cake. Both for herself and probably none for Mirai. And then Mirai says, "You know what? You enjoy the cake. I'm not really hungry." And what is that?
That's not very nice. A girl comes out, brings you cake. The least you can do is enjoy it. I mean, that's the only thing that Mariah's going to get out of that match. That and a whole bunch of an ass whipping. So she might as well have got a free cake and enjoyed it. Oh, no. The oldest trick in the book, and she fell for it. You know what? I didn't
Twice.
even see that coming. How did I not see that coming? Mariah gives gives poor Tam Nakano the face plant into the cake. Oh, that's gonna come back to bite her.
Are you sure about that?
Mariah doesn't win.
She's so happy. Oh, I saw a thing, and I don't know. He probably says this about every
Hold on
single.
a second. So wait, but you said Mariah's so happy as you're showing me a picture of Mariah May hugging Mariah. Why does Ami look so devastated and angry next to him?
Because she actually cares about the match.
What match? Who's their challenger?
Doesn't matter.
Apparently not.
Mina and Mariah May. I wanted to throw this out there too. Is our ladyship Mai Sakurai? Does she just have 2 bodyguards now? Is that what's going on?
I think that's exactly what DDM turned into. It happened on accident. It was a slow burn. I was gonna say it happened overnight, but it did not. It slowly happened where Mai Sakurai became the leader of DDM, and Thekla and Julia just hold her luggage.
Yeah, no one bothered to tell Julia. She still thinks she's the leader. It's just a picture of Our Lady ship looking really cool, and then Thekla and Julia next to her. I don't know, looking out for snipers.
And I actually saw that they were having that conversation, Thekla and Sakurai, and even Micah's involved every now and again. And Micah's like, "Listen, I've known her the longest. You need to make her believe that she's in charge. Okay, she'll have a temper tantrum. She'll probably get her head shaved or do some crazy dreadlock thing. So just make her think she's in charge, and everything will be a-okay."
Yeah. The only other thing, and this is really just because you could see, here we go. Check this out. You can just explain. I'll even leave the audio on, and then for the podcast, and you just explain to me what's happening.
Oh my gosh, she's lost her mind.
What's happening?
I don't know. I think Mina's.
Mariah May. Whoa.
I don't even know. I don't even. All right. Attempting to. I'm lost for words. All right, so Mina is in Ami's face, almost doing the Wednesday dance in her face. Is that, having a seizure? One of the two. Oh.
And Mariah May's there.
Well, she's lost her mind.
I don't know. I think she's never made more sense, to be honest with you. I don't know what to make of that. I just felt like I had to show you it. And of course, another amazing thing that happened at the press conference. I scrolled past it and I forgot because I didn't want to like spoil it for you.
Oh no!
That's the sound of your Stardom icon falling off a 2-inch stage and dying.
Oh no! She can't help herself, can she?
Let's see if anyone even's looking. No one's even looking. Rossi's looking.
It's like, oh no! I just lost the icon.
The other 8
He
people.
took a real deal bump. Watch her, watch this be the thing that injures her. Mayu falling off a stage. Onto her shoulder. So what are these storylines that's coming up from that? So we have Stars is Hazuki, Mayu, and Koguma going against Lady C's Bombers.
We have the Natsupois, Soriano, and real Natsupoi are fighting. That lasted.
Oh, they're fighting now?
Natsupoi got her voice knocked out at their at the pay-per-view. Oh no! So Natsupoi, and for some reason there's like confetti and like all sorts of stuff on the stage, and they're throwing it at each other and they're slapping each other back and forth. And then Natsupoi gets on the mic and is, because they were tag team champions like 3 days ago, and now they're fighting.
So Roy's gonna kick her ass.
Yeah, that's what scared me. Is Natsupoi gets done talking, and then something I don't think I've ever seen. Saori picks up the mic and smiles at her.
Oh no, that's evil. She wasn't smiling when they were supposed to smile and be delicious.
She's gonna kill her. So it's the end of Natsupoi. That's that storyline.
Nice knowing you.
The other storyline is, Mina is
So it's Mina and is it Mina and Mariah May? Are they teaming up to go against the tag belts?
Oh yeah, and Mariah's distracted. Not only does she probably still have a bum leg, probably.
I think I want. I'm sort of torn. I like both teams, but Mina and Mariah may be in tag team champions for a little bit. That could be fun.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Rossi said this in an interview or on Twitter or whatever, and I'm sure he says it when asked about every single wrestler. But he says that he can see Mariah May being like the ace of Stardom.
Really?
Yeah. Do you think he says that about everybody, or?
I doubt he says that about a lot of the foreigners that came in. He didn't say that about Zaya Brookside. He's like, where'd that girl from catering go?
True. Wait, who's Zaya Brookside?
The only girl, on my social media minute, I'm 1 for 1 on wrestlers liking my posts. I posted that I found our missing Venus in the show she's doing in New Jersey, and Stardom Fan retweeted it,
Ooh.
and then Zaya Brookside gave it the old heart ski, and I'm like, oh, she knows we exist. The worst Club Venus member. Although you did once tell Mina that she has nice hair, and she said thank you.
True.
So you got the win on that one. That was a fine social media minute.
It lasted shorter than it usually lasts, but that's because usually this time I got nothing, and I'm just showing like stuff I found funny. A lot of times I'm trying to like translate in real time, which I'm the worst at humanly possible. Trying to like tell you the stories that Stardom refuses to tell you.
No, that's good. I think it's nice coming up the storylines that we have going here. Mina's yeah, so like to recap, Mina's crazy.
Mhm.
Ami's pissy. Or Mariah oh
Well, Ami and
yeah,
Mirai
Ami.
are both
Yeah, Ami
pissy.
and are both pissy. uh the more I watch that video that you're showing, Mariah May is confused because I think she wants to try to dance, but she's confused because Mina's insane. Uh we have Tam and Mariah are doing whatever. What's Hanan doing? Nothing.
Um,
Mina, white belt, no, or other belt, no.
that's about it.
But the two Natsupoi, oh my god, real Natsupoi is fucked. That's probably
Wait.
that's probably one of the matches I'm most excited for
Is
because I love that Soroi, and like I'm also interested to see if there's a way Natsupoi pulls it off because my goodness, I can't see it.
oh, so that's just her new character. So she's just a zombie now. Mina's a zombie now.
Oh, good. Out of all the zombies we could have had, we got zombie Mina and zombie Mayu Iwatani's just waiting to be hatched.
Yeah, zombie Mayu Utani's slightly cooler, just slightly.
All right.
Oh, so we have Bari Bombers versus like the Stars team. We need a name for this Stars team where it's Mayu Utani, Hazuki, and then not Hanan.
Well, I think someone brought it up. I think they call it. I forget who wrote it. Probably Enigma, because he knows everything. But I don't want to give credit to the wrong person. But in chat they were saying I think they came out and called themselves Triple Crazy, which I guess fits.
But only two of them are crazy.
Yeah, and Hazuki's crazy for being with them.
No,
So that makes all three.
Mayu's the only one that's normal. out of actually,
Wow.
my
That's the
Sakurai,
take.
my Sakurai is pretty normal, even though she's just maybe she took an ancestry test. I don't know. She decided she's like royalty.
Oh, well, she's not part of the Triple Crazy.
Also, I've just been like skipping this match. 'Cause it's gonna piss me off.
Chris brought it up there. Chris was following.
Queen's Quest versus Oedo Tai in a stupid cage match where, first of all, it's annoying because I thought the purpose of a cage match was to keep people inside the ring, you know, in the cage. But apparently this one you have to try to escape the cage, which seems dumb. But
Yeah, they've been doing that since the start of the cage match.
the last person inside the cage, which I assume could also mean if like you could lose the match, like because what if what if Stars does the inevitable like sweep and they just leave all of Oedo? I said Stars. What if all of Queen's Quest, they are Stars, leaves Oedo Tai in a heap, up like a pile of knocked out unconscious bodies in the corner, and then they all leave the ring, and then do Oedo Tai have to fight because the other stip is the last person left in the ring has to leave their unit.
Really? So that's how that's the easy out for Utami.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Queen's Quest is done.
Queen's Quest is fine.
If you're good with the social media minute, there's a slight housekeeping. We haven't nailed down a match of May, and there was a billion matches, of which I saw a dozen. But
I don't think I've seen any of them.
well, then we might by default, unless like someone in chat or Discord brings up like their favorite match of May, and then I watch it and change my mind. But what we had going into the end of the month was for match of May, Natsupoi versus Mina on May 4th.
Well, that makes sense.
It does make sense, but this would also be the first month that we don't have a Mayu. I mean, I guess she doesn't have to be every match of the month, does she?
Well, I didn't see any of the month because they decided, hey, it's fight week, so that means we don't have like. What's weird, they do fight week, which is like a national holiday in Japan. So there's like a wrestling show every day of the week. So that means that whoever uploads the shows to Stardom World decides to take a vacation. Because by the time those people started uploading shows to Stardom World, it was already like a week to the pay-per-view, and I'm like, well, I could try to catch up on all these shows, or I can just wait to the pay-per-view, which will be current. I think there was like a Himika like 15th retirement match in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah. So yeah, Mina versus Natsupoi. Good job.
All right, we'll keep that as the winner for match of May. I like it. In a perfect world with the I'd like to do clips of all the matches of the month. I think that'd be a fun little side project too, since we're halfway through the year. How fun is it though? I need a vacation. A vacation to stay inside now that it's finally nice out. I could bring it up. I know you have a lot of tabs. I'd like to just recap and go right through. A few days ago, we did a live stream with the for power rankings, the quarterly power rankings, and I thought it might be worth going through that real quick. Plays for audio. I actually watched the whole thing. Well, not the whole 2 hours, but the first hour, which is pretty much the power ranking part, and then we just like chit chat and have fun. And it was actually pretty entertaining. There's a lot of good takes in there, and that just sort of got off the rails by the end. But I mean, that's just sort of how it works.
This is fun for me because looking back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is what we did. Like I don't think about it because when I'm so focused on where like the who's at 20, who's at 19, who's at 18, and then I'm just moving on. So for the first time, instead of ranking everybody, like you don't deserve to get ranked just because we just did a power 25. If you're below that, I just put who, but you can call that whoever you want. So there's a whole bunch of people. Then we at number 25, we had Kyrie under Hina, under Waka, which I don't know if you made the list, so I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
And that actually only happened if you recall, because you're only looking at the list. But as there was shenanigans and things moving around, there ended up being a opening at the top, so everyone moved up. Because originally Kyrie didn't even make the list.
I think Waka had the biggest jump in like power ranking history. Something I will never be
true
unless we do like another one where we rank everybody. She went from bottom of the list at like 40 something to 23.
Yeah, I went through it. It is a fact. It is the greatest. I mean, it's almost comeback wrestler, or you can't be a comeback if you're never there to begin with, but definitely the most improved power ranking in Stardom power ranking history, Stardom power ranking history. That's for sure.
And then a whole bunch of stuff. Azumi was at number 14. Maybe I was bribed. Maybe. But Azumi's number 14. And then there's Thekla, Momokogo. Hazuki makes the top 10. I mean,
Yeah, she has never missed a top 10. And again, when there was a seismic shift, she got to make it up there. That's good. There was, I mean, it was actually fun because a lot of the girls you can sort of tier together, and of course, which is why we did it on a live stream, is because it can end up being long as we fight over 10 and 11, 11 and 12, because it's like, no, my favorite wrestler is higher than your favorite wrestler. And trying our damnedest. Well, I didn't find it as hard as you did. Figuring out 10 women that Azumi is better than, and the fact that you, when it's all said and done, out of like everyone, she could have been ranked. Azumi could have been ranked higher than. She's ranked higher than Momo Watanabe. I'm like, that's odd.
makes sense.
Oh, Chris Minji's all over us, or all over us with the facts today in a good way. Did you know that apparently Saya Ida should be a lady of Chiba?
She could be.
Yeah, she hasn't quite deserved it yet.
It's like being in Club Venus. You have to have certain qualifications. Not everyone
And
gets
what
to be in. Why don't we just throw everyone in the ladies from Chiba tier? Just because you were what,
I thought,
born there?
well, she can give everyone free rides. I mean, Hanan looks goofy riding on Saida. Could you imagine Lady C hopping on?
By that logic, let's put Julia in the ladies from Chiba tier. What is the ladies from Chiba tier? Well, we're getting there, but first, how does Natsupoi always manage to make her way into the top 10?
It's one of those things where like she's so small and tiny that you don't even like notice her. You know how like a mouse, if they can fit their nose through, they can squeak in. That's what she just sort of happens. We forget about her and we're like, oh, Natsupoi. All right, pop her in. And she's really good.
Well, yeah, of course she's really good. She's in the top 10. The former red and white belt champions are at 7 and 6. Mina, other former white belt champion, Mina Shirakawa, Shuri. At number 3, Tam Nakano. Number 2, Utami. Yeah. Number 1, she could almost get her own spot, like what is it, like a special label, but Mayu Utani always going to be number 1. And then we had the ladies from Chiba tier. Mai Sakurai, Lady C, Saki. And then, of course, we have Saki Kashima at the top. The greatest high-speed champion of all time. Well, not counting Mayu Utani or Starlight Kid.
Oh, that's how it moved up before, which is actually interesting. Well, the reason, I mean, because obviously in a power rankings, like if you were to take all the emotions out of it, Utami should definitely be number 2. But that was a spot held by Saki Kashima, the greatest high-speed champion of all time. And then when she vacated to Transcend, that's when everyone got to move up a little bit.
I mean, you can call it whatever you want. Because Mayu's number 1. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not saying Saki just because she's 2 tiers above Mayu Utani doesn't mean she's better than her. She's just Mayu's number 1.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's why there's a tiny little asterisk next to the number 1 spot. And if you like zoom in all the way, there's like little disclaimer saying, yeah, it's like I don't even know if she can be moved. I think
it's only happened once in history.
Yeah, if you beat the greatest red belt champion of all time, the greatest red belt champion of all time moves down to 3 because number 2 has to be Mayu because she just moved from number 1. That's in the bylaws.
And that's when that's when Shuri can pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, in retrospect, it's a fine list. It's the type of list that only we can do.
It's future proofing.
I was I was thinking what would be fun is next quarter or whatever meets our fancy after a couple shows, but probably closer to next quarter, end of summer. When we do this, I think exactly the same way we just did it. I think it worked out great. However, going into it, I would sort of think it'd be fun for you to have your own list and mine to have my own list that I just sort of we do on our own, and then just sort of compare and contrast. I even thought it'd be fun to do a ranking, like a Discord ranking, or just a start like a community tab would probably get even more ranking. So like see where everybody reaches, like my opinions, your opinions, and then like the Stardom fans opinions. I thought that would make for a fantastic power ranking.
That would be cool. And it works out because I accidentally I get overrun on here twice for some reason. So it works. Another thing people were talking about, Micah didn't even make the top 20 until she did. Kasaki Kashima had to move up.
Yeah, I don't well I don't like
I was also gonna say Hazuki didn't make the top 10, but she's high enough. But Micah did make the top 20. Which everyone's saying it's
Yeah.
like Micah for the red belt, Micah red belt. I'm like, why? She's barely even better than the Futures champion.
No, and that's where this list ends up being like, well, that's true. And that I think that's 100% true, and that's where this list, our list in general, tends to get a bit bipolar. But that's what adds the fun to it, because we're sort of
But I'm thinking we think past, present, and future. So like I said, she's barely better than the Futures champion. So she's saying why is she 2 spots lower than Hina? Well, because Hina's got like a future, hence the name.
well, I mean, this is also a quarterly power ranking.
Yeah, and in the next 3 months,
There'll be a new one.
true.
So there's no reason to future-proof a power ranking. I think that it's fun.
Yeah,
and
but when I'm
awesome.
ranking somebody and I look at, okay, Micah just had her like big Himika retired, so Micah had her big match of the next 2 years. It's like that's part of like in the next 3 months, what is Micah gonna do? Nothing. She dyed her hair a different color. She's a 16-year-old emo girl.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with Micah. I think that's actually the best pick. Was my point is that stuff like that is pretty objective as far as we go. But then as we get closer to the top, more of our favorites and the people we like less, givers say it would be is when emotion starts riding over what you've actually done this power ranking or year.
You tell me who in the top 10 is emotion based. Oh, I know. You're talking about Tam Nakano. I know. You think she should be above Saki Kashima, apparently.
No, I just taking all emotions out of it. I think Utami's awfully high. I think Kazuki's awfully high. I think as far as quarterly power rankings, everyone else there has been a champion or has had the best matches of the month, 5 months in a row. So they those make sense.
Are you one of those people? Okay. Do you watch other sports besides wrestling?
No,
You watch baseball.
I love baseball.
Yeah. Do you think the regular season matters?
Yeah, because I'm an Orioles fan. If you don't, when they lose 15 in a row in April, that means I don't watch baseball in October.
Okay. So when you put on the best match every single night on every single house show and leave people like happy and buying your merch and hey, I posted on Twitter I got new Tommy Rose and all of a sudden now everyone's a new Tommy fan because she's so good and she has the best match every single night. Does that count for something? Or none of that matters, and it just matters like where a guy in a hat decides to put you on a pay-per-view card.
Well, that's wrestling. I guess it depends what the power rankings are. I mean, your favorite wrestler is awfully high, and I don't disagree with you that she's fantastic. But booking has to have something to do with it. I mean, otherwise, Saki Kashima would have never been in the top 5 because she's never been there before.
I'm pretty sure she's been above number 1 before.
Well, yeah, that's because she beat Azumi once before. Pretty much every time she beats Azumi, she gets transcended.
she's good for 2 of those a year.
Listen, all right, I want to. That's fantastic. No regrets. I want the next story to play out that it didn't almost make sense to me why or other than the fact that she won fair and square and that Kashima is like the best high speed champion ever until boy do I want Shuri to take her head off. I think shit that would be amazing. Shuri just gives Sasaki the whooping that she deserves, and Shuri takes that belt.
You know, that belt
Oh
kind
my god.
of there's it's called a high speed belt. It doesn't really mean anything. Shouldn't they put like a time limit on it? Like 15 or 10 minutes?
They
Like
can put 3 minutes on there and Shuri will take it.
doesn't that sound more amazing? Because at that point, going into the match, like Shuri versus Saki Kashima, it's not can Saki Kashima beat Shuri, even though she's beat her like pretty much every time they ever wrestled. But that's neither here nor there. It's can Saki Kashima last 3 minutes with Shuri? Because
Yeah.
I think it's the same time limit as every other championship match. Just kind of seems silly. Like, why are you wrestling? Why is it called? What's the reason for it to be called the high speed belt? Because at that point, if I don't have to wrestle faster, why wouldn't I just take that belt? If I don't want to fight Shuri and try to take her belt,
Oh,
I can still get a
it's
pay.
just-
I can get a pay bump being the high speed champ. The
it's the
competition's a lot easier.
it's high speed just because it's supposed to be the girls that are like super like when Starlight and Natsupoi had it, that was great because Natsupoi used to wrestle like her hair was on fire.
Hmm.
Now it's like basically a high speed match is they run around and jump over each other for 2 minutes and then they kip up and look at each other and then they go back to a normal wrestling match. I mean that's basically what it turned into.
You're just describing Azumi matches. You just run around, you jump over each other, you do a bunch of nonsense, and then we end with a submission hold. I think that's what kind of bummed me out the most. Like, you got Azumi, one of the, I don't even know if this is the stats. Maybe she's the longest high speed champ of all time. It's called the high speed belt. You're supposed to be running around Natsupoi, Starlight Kid, hair on fire. And then she would start the match for 30 seconds doing that and be like, man, this is tough. And then put someone in a headlock. I'm like, that's not high speed. I would like to see, you're right, Shuri is high speed champ, where it's how many, like her high speed is when I grab you and I take you to the ground. How fast can I rattle your brain before the ref calls it?
I mean, if it was a time limit, Shuri would just have to cut out the 3 minutes of chain wrestling where she like just toys with her opponent for a little bit and just go right to the kicks.
Make a rule she's not allowed. That's why I said another. If they want to do a gimmick match, for Saki Kashima and Shuri, is Shuri is only allowed to do the Kishikashi, a move apparently it's like a Rubik's cube. Only Saki Kashima has figured out. And then she's not allowed to use the Kishikashi, but she's allowed to use anything she wants. Any move, like a wrench, a pipe, a Starlight Kid, whatever she wants. That's the match I want to see.
At this point, well, just give me Shuri versus Oedo Tai. If Mayu can do it, Shuri can.
That is the greatest match. People have asked me a lot, and I'm awful at remembering matches. I always say Utami versus Mayu. Turns out it's Utami and Mayu matches. Utami versus Mayu for the world title, and then Mayu versus Oedo Tai, where she's literally stars are best star. I keep saying stars. Maybe it's a Freudian slip. The former Stars team that Mayu is surrounded by sucked, and Oedo Tai would cheat every week, and every week they would take a new member from Stars. And then finally Mayu said, fuck you, kind of like what Utami's doing. I'll do it myself, and faces all of Oedo Tai, and she pretty much gets all the way through them before they all are like, oh shit, we didn't think this could happen. And they all get in the ring and they beat her with like chains and bats until the ref calls it. And then they're like, haha, Mayu, we beat your ass. And then Mayu takes the mic and says, wait, didn't I just win by DQ? Play my music and get the fuck out of my ring.
Wasn't that funny too? Was that when was she trying to win back Starlight? When like she won the rights to have Starlight come back to Stars, and then at that point she was just like, nah, I'm cool. People, my black gear sells way more than my Stars gear did. People love this.
I think her exact words were, wait, didn't I win? Play my music. You know, the one that goes da 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 da. Yeah, play that one.
Oh man, that can't be too hard to find and clip. That's hilarious.
And then she's like, bye bye. Like the Oedo Tai after she got her ass kicked so hard. It's like, all right, bye bye. I won the match.
So good, dude.
Because it's not right away, obviously. She's probably has like a concussion from the chair shots and Raka's boxes and like baseball bats. But then she remembers, wait, what were we doing? Oh, a wrestling match? Yeah, I won. Get out of my ring. And I think Hanan was in Stars too, yeah. The future 15 years down the line when Mayu considers like being part-time. Maybe Hanan would be considered an ace after Tommy decides to retire 15 years after that.
Wow. I see. I don't even. Boy, is that weird. Just like in my mind, I always like picture Hanan's the future race, and I'm like, I just always bypass Utami. I'm like, I don't know. Hanan could pass everybody.
But not Utami. That's actually they're doing the generational matches.
I was talking nonsense actually.
They're doing the generational matches. They just did one at a Corkin show, and they're doing another one where it was I think they're in a rematch. And I'll get your thoughts on this. It was Shuri, Mayu, Tam Nakano, and Julia. So like, and that's supposed to be what generation? I guess they're close enough in age. But then it was Micah, fucking Red Risa Sarah, Saya Kamatani, and Utami. Like that's what they're trying to build as the generations. And Utami's like, first of all, I don't give a fuck about this match. Like you guys are the one making it a big deal. Secondly, it's current and former red belt champions. I'm a red belt champion. Why am I teaming with these guys? That's kind of her opinion on that.
Well, that kind of stuff's fun though. Like I like that a lot, and maybe they'll actually get the uploads up somewhat quick. Like Stardom World right now, as we record, actually has like the last match, which is that Mayu, Shuri, Julia, Tam team up, and that's fascinating because that sort of goes back to like as matches of the months go, like these fantasy matches, if you will. Our favorite match in January just happened because like everyone else was sick. They were like, let's just put Shuri, Mayu, and Utami and Micah together and have them all like entertain us. Like that's what this is. Like a whole bunch of people that like, are you kidding me?
Well, first,
Sam and, Julia teaming up together. That's like people that hate each other teaming up together is always awesome to me. Like I know it's just so much fun. So much fun.
I'll try to pull up the thing here. I thought it already happened. Oh, Corkin show. Here we go.
Yeah, well, the one we were just talking about. I'm sure it did. I'm looking at 6-4 on Stardom Dash World, and that's that'll be finished uploading somewhere sometime this month. Be nice if they were back on a decent upload schedule. It'd be nice to keep up on everything. I did think it was worth noting. It was a couple weeks out at this point now, right? Memorial Day weekend. That weekend was quite the wrestling weekend. It was like the WWE Saudi show, then it was the AEW pay-per-view, and then we watched Flashing Champions. And no matter how much you didn't like bits and pieces of Flashing Champions, it was still the best show of the weekend. My a very unbiased opinion as a Stardom fan.
But look at these two teams right here. It's like, first of all, I'm just like, what do you think about Suzu being considered? It just seems weird. Is it because Himika retired? Then you like, for some reason, they like have a thing about the round number. Like they couldn't do a 3-on-3 match, so they had to throw. Oh, Suzu, you're young. Get in there with Utami, Micah, and Saya.
What I like about that is that makes me want to like really watch Suzu because I liked a lot of Suzu. She really came around to me from like me originally not liking Prominence when they first came in to like liking them, and then I became a Suzu fan. But then she gets hired, Prominence, or she leaves Prominence, she gets hired, and she does nothing but love comedy shit for the next 2 months. So if she's gonna have teammates of Utami, Micah, and Saya, dude, she has to step it up to hold her own in this. She is in a match with the elite. Suzu is in the match with those girls I just said, and Shuri, and Mayu, and Tam Nakano, and Julia. Like she should be awestruck with the talent that she is in the ring with, and I'm excited to see if she steps up or not.
And Micah. Micah's there too.
Yeah, I might have said that.
I want to make sure you mentioned, in case we forgot.
I might,
In case we
have
forgot.
I might have forgot. I don't know.
Well, because the chat's talking about how, let's see, crazy how young Azumi, Hanan, Hina, Rina, and Raka, when they started wrestling. Let's make like 2 points about that. Like people always talk about, or we were just talking about it a second ago, Hanan could be like the next big Stardom wrestler. And was she 18 now? That's when Mayu started wrestling. They didn't start calling Mayu the Stardom icon until like 4 years ago. So she's got a ways
and I
to
think
go.
I think she started it.
Yeah, I think I tried to go.
Like I am the Stardom icon. I think you actually went back to try to figure it out, right? Didn't you like literally go through every like year of Stardom matches trying to figure out when they announced her as it?
I would think I was trying to figure out when she grew a tail, and I was trying to go back through that. One or the other.
Oh, it never hurts to go back and watch Mayu matches. That's for sure, though.
So that's number one. But number two, like you're saying, you got Mayu, Tam Nakano, Shuri, Julia, and then I just love Utami's promos about like she's supposed to be in like the young generation. Like Tam Nakano just reached like her ultimate dream. She's the red belt champion. She's been talking about retirement for years, like a month before she wins the belt. She's like, maybe we'll see how it goes. If maybe I can get one more good run left in me. And Utami is over here like with this supposed like younger generation, like the rising stars. She's like, I've already done that. Like it's just an interesting story where she's like, I don't like that you're grouping me with these guys. Like if anything, shouldn't I be over there? And then she's like, I don't, but she's also like, I don't really want to be over there because you're telling me that's all the old ladies who are like, I don't know, the Brock Lesnar position. I don't even know what you'd call that. The CM Punk position, like the old vet. Like she's like, I'm not that.
The wily veteran.
She's like, I'm not on my last legs, and I'm not a rising star. I've already been to the top. So an interesting story. And then after the match, they're all taking the mic. Mirai gets in the ring and gets in everybody's face. But that's all I got. Because
yeah, man, no.
This is like the longest I have gone without watching Stardom since I started watching it like years ago. Because I didn't watch for like almost a month because they weren't uploading shows. And then by the time they uploaded shows, it was so close to that pay-per-view. I'm like, well, I'll just watch the pay-per-view. And then I watched the pay-per-view and I was so bummed out. Plus, I think they're also still not uploading shows where I'm like, ugh, I don't really want to.
Right. Well, yeah, May was tricky. I mean, the upload schedule was tough, and then I mean, it's a holiday month and stuff like that. But we did get blessed with like 2 pay-per-views and a New Blood. I mean, so there was like the big shows to watch. But there's something super charming about those house shows. Like I love watching them, so I definitely need to get back in and catching up on the nightly shows. That's for sure.
I think if I'm just gonna start, I'll make sure I watch every single New Blood, which we'll definitely watch that soon. That just the one that just went up.
Well, dude, I mean, I got like an hour. If we close this up, we could just start it. We usually put it on here anyways. I mean, I don't know. You'll end up probably watching it all night if it's good, but I mean, it's up to you.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm so freaking. I don't know. I'm bummed out, man. I'm in a funk. Tam Nakano put me in your Nene Takahashi funk. I'm like, I don't want to watch anything. There's a fucking match with the 5, 6 greatest wrestlers, maybe if women's wrestlers of all time in the same match, and I'm like, I don't even want to watch it.
That's goofy. And I would like to thank everybody for sticking around and listening to the Stardom Fan Podcast. I have been Mark, and for Juno, is there anything you'd like to say in closing while I load up the list of
Oh,
thank yous needed for this week?
go for it. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna say thank you to all the. Well, I don't have it loaded up, but that's what I was about to do. But while you're pulling that up, I would like to say that. Let's bring it back up. A couple things. First of all, we are very close to the launch of the relaunch of the
Relaunch.
StardomFan.com. So look forward to that. Also, you know, Utami, like the DMs, they're always open. So hit me up.
Then we'll talk about the Discord, because the Discord's cool. If you're not on the Discord, you're missing some really good stuff. Well, you're missing some crazy stuff and some wild stuff and some stuff that'll just make you, quite frankly, probably feel uncomfortable. However, like we got a guy on, we have boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. Stardom Fan has infiltrated Tokyo. Fire Trader was just like literally one of our guys was in uh Toronto. I think he's actually from Canada. He was in Cork and Hall, like taking pictures and sharing with us. Like
Yeah, that's really cool.
at the show he was in. It was super cool. And like a lot of the stuff that happens on Discord that's super cool. Quincy was just at a show. Jacob Rainbow Warriors going to a show and he's trying to get a high five from Saki so we can mail Juno some Saki sweat. I mean, it's like there's a
Mhm.
lot of cool stuff going on. Gadrick just says don't visit the junkyard. All right. That's funny shit. We do have a Patreon, stardomfan.com/Patreon. All our links will be in the show notes and soon on the brand new relaunch, stardomfan.com. But for now, we would like to thank
You
people. I would, well, yeah,
and
you. Who is in the
you.
chat today? Why don't you talk about? Why don't you talk about the chat for heaven's sakes? While you're doing that, I know it doesn't actually go all the way back, so it's hard. But for $1 a month, we have Stardom Fans, and they are the original Patreon supporter: Archon, Rick Blade, The Twilight Dream, and we have Quincy. Hey, the guy I just gave a shout out to. He's also got a YouTube channel.
He
So
also just got
that stuff's good.
I think he just got assaulted by Filthy Tom.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I know I was following his stuff. Oh, that's another social media minute. So I literally like I don't do my social media. I follow 3 people, like DDP, another wrestler, and Filthy Tom Lawler. Like that's literally who I follow. So imagine my shock when I'm scrolling through and I'm like, wait, that looks like our boy Quincy. I've seen his picture on our Discord, and then all of a sudden I'm like, how the fuck is he on my Discord? And he's been retweeted by Filthy Tom because he went to that show and got a selfie with him. I was like, oh, that's so fucking cool. Um, we have 2 creators in our creator tier, and that is Juno's #1 fan, Chicken Boy, or Chicken, I think you might just go by, and Jake Bert. You guys in that creator tier have a show topic, you just let Juno know and he will make it happen. That's our thank yous. And then the shout outs, support us in Ko-fi and Patreon. Links will be in the
Oh,
show notes. And yeah, go for it, dude. I'm done.
I keep forgetting about this. I'll probably, if I don't mention, I'll forget it more. We were gonna do a segment one time about our first top, or how do I even word it? When you follow people on Twitter, the first 10 people we've ever followed.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Oh, what's the game? Like the first 10 people you followed? My personal account is DDP, DDP Yoga, because I'm weird like that. Filthy Tom Lawler.
Because
and
you're.
then-
You should follow DDP if you don't even know about wrestling. That guy, like, you'll wake up in the morning and be like, you can do anything. I'm like, I can fucking do anything. And it's like
And
oh,
there's the
wake
reason
up.
I get all excited. I'm like, yeah.
He
I'm
tricks
like,
me. He
I
tricks
don't want to
me.
take the trash out. They're like, oh, you can take the trash out. It's not like whether you can or you can't. I mean, if you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I can go do it.
The amount of times that man has tricked me into doing 55-second, 10-second plank. It's like, all right, we're just gonna plank. It's gonna be for 10 seconds. So get down there. You're gonna feel the burn. And we're at 10. And we're at 9. And we're at 8. Are you shaking? Are you shaking? Good. That means you're turning muscles on. He goes, you're hating me right now. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes. And we're at 7. And we're at 6. Woo! Feel the burn. We got a water break coming up real soon. I'm like, this motherfucker doesn't say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Real fast.
Dude, he's real quick too. Like DDP tangent. I saw him at a Comic-Con, and like he is a monster. Like he is an old school like wrestler, big. Like I'm 6 foot, and that's the story I'm sticking to, and I'm like up to his shoulder. He's like, "Hey, kid." I'm like, well, "I'm a grown ass man, Mr. DDP."
Thank you, sir. All right.
I don't even
So,
know how we got there.
people
Oh,
I
yeah, you were
follow on
saying-
Twitter. Now you can guess the first. So
Oh,
we'll
hold
do
on. Is
2.
this your personal account or the Stardom Fan account? I'm actually interested. Or are they one and the same at this point?
I don't know. I don't even know which one I'm on. But for this one, I
Oh,
got.
This is funny. I love this. So this is Juno's first 10 people ever followed on his Twitter. I like this.
On,
Fun
yeah.
game.
And the first 2 aren't from. So I got like the top 10 Stardom. So like there's like the first 2 aren't Stardom people, but you could guess those if you want, and then I can do like the top 10 people in Stardom because that's what it ended up being.
Who would you have followed?
And they are
What year
they are
what year
wrestlers.
did you join?
It doesn't matter,
I think it might.
and I don't know. So.
Because I know the different versions. Because it's
And by the way,
so 1 and
Saki,
2 not
because
Stardom wrestlers.
we like to show off or the science of what keeps the viewers. Like pictures of Saki does it. It's feature
Well, it
reference.
doesn't hurt. I know. I was rewatching the last live stream, and you were so mad that the crazy video of Tam made the viewership go up by 5.
All right. I
Charlotte Flair.
No,
Damn.
not a woman. The first 2 aren't women.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this out loud.
Well, you have to.
JC?
Who?
Jim
So.
Cornette?
Oh no.
No, because he's probably a fun
I
follow.
was like, Jesus Christ! Like what? Oh,
You
Jim
follow
Cornette.
Jesus? Well, I do, but I use a different book. I mean, out of everybody in the world. Do you want to play 20 questions?
Oh, all right, for the number 1.
Yeah, for your number 1. That
All right.
check can help too.
All right, go.
All right, so we know he's a man.
Yeah,
All right.
that counts as 1.
All right. So we know he's a man and we know he's a wrestler.
Yeah, chat, help out.
Is he current? Is this
I could
male
do.
wrestler? Oh, this is so fun. I love
I
20
guess
questions.
I could start a Q&A. Oh, I haven't done that in forever. Who is my?
Oh no, Hendrix might have got it. Did he? I didn't even think of that. Did Hendrix get it?
My number 1.
Hendrix got Mick Foley.
Well, he might be wrong.
All right. Well, you got to keep track of the questions. So I know as a man, I know as a wrestler.
Yeah.
Is this wrestler still active?
No.
Was this wrestler a world champion?
Yes.
Did Hendrix say it right?
Yes.
Hendrix, yeah, dude, Hendrix. I bet
Because he just looked at what my top 10 things are.
there's no way he cheated. You don't put that on Hendrix. He said guessing from past jokes, and he pays attention.
I never said a. I've
We've
never
brought it up in
said.
the past. We've brought up the cameos. I can see a reason why.
Nah, he cheated.
Dude, first of all, he's super producer. Okay,
He
so
cheated.
you can't like. How dare you? Well, now I want to. Oh, you know what? I still want to play. Now I want number 2.
All right.
Still a man, still a wrestler.
Yeah, those 2.
Damn, I was trying to get 2 free ones. Active?
No.
Currently
Well,
active?
I'll
Oh,
I'll say no.
but maybe showed up now and again. Man, wrestler, not active. Yeah, and if the chat has a question, you can add it in. You just got to tell me what it is because I'm not on there right now. What was this wrestler known to be for WWE?
Yes.
Was this wrestler a world champion?
Yes.
Was this wrestler would have been considered in the prime or most popular 2010 or before?
I'm gonna say no on world champion. Actually, let me look it up.
Okay, don't. I was gonna say. No, listen. Now, don't parse belts. I mean, like the main champion, not whatever they call him.
WWE Universe.
Yeah, you know what I mean. No, he wasn't the world champion. He was the Raw champion, Universal. Ha ha.
All right, I'll say yeah.
All right.
So you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you want to take a question from the chat?
Yeah. Is there one in there that I would like?
I don't know. I forget how to go back to it. Oh, here we go.
It's got to be in your back end or something, right?
You got T says, did he team with Foley? You want to use that question?
Yeah.
I don't think so. So no.
All right. That was a good question. Good question. Together we'll get this.
And
I
of
think
course,
last time we played 20 questions, Enigma was all in on with good questions too.
yeah.
Was this wrestler considered like the prime or his most active like pre 2010,
Yes.
pre 2000?
Yeah.
So probably a 90s wrestler. Probably also came up into there. Thinking probably Attitude Era.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is number 9.
All right, so a champion, not active now, at least 90s era, probably wrestled into the 2000s, and is still around a little bit. All right, is there anyone in the chat? You know, it's funny. Peanut Gallery says Stone Cold or Undertaker. My first instinct started going towards Undertaker. So how do we how do we knock that down without doing too much? He was a world champion. Did this wrestler start wrestling before 1990?
Yes.
Well, maybe we are looking at Taker. Is this wrestler? um, he never really liked Shawn Michaels. And I can't. Stone Cold, I think he liked too, and Stone Cold also started. But he's a Taker fan, makes sense. I don't know. Was Taker ever really active? I don't even know. Is Taker active on Twitter? Stone Cold probably is. Or maybe you're following DDP too. These all actually follow. These all actually go to DDP also. All right, hold on. All right, so he was a WWE wrestler. Did this wrestler also wrestle in other federations?
Yes.
Yes. All right. All right. So we pretty much know it's not Undertaker, unless you like he did.
He did
You wouldn't
wrestle.
like count. You wouldn't count like like 3 days in OVW, would you?
I mean,
All right, hold on. Well, let me rephrase. Was this?
yeah, 'cause I know what you're trying to say. Like,
Was this wrestler like a main roster like person in a different federation, not just like Hulk Hogan wrestled once in New Japan. I wouldn't call him a New Japan wrestler. You know what I mean?
yeah, we'll say multiple promotions.
All right. Known to have worked in multiple promotions. Now I'm starting to think it could be
5,
DDP.
6, 7, 8, 9.
I want to iron it down. Was he known to be in WCW? Oh, this could be Ric Flair because he's about to say, well, no, that would have been WCW. Let's say you're going to say like NWA or something.
I just don't want to like get it wrong and be like, no, like you know what I mean? Like lead
Nah,
on
no, you could say, I mean, you could just, I mean, it's on this
no
spur of the moment.
sperm of the moment.
So multiple promotions, but not WCW. What are we at here?
Oh, I got keep Saki's face up there. I'm doing a sticky note or whatever it's called.
Well, let me. I'm actually
the-
keeping track myself. So, chat. I think you did the same thing I did. Chat. We have a male wrestler, not active right now. May have done some showing up based on his answer. A WWE World Champion did not team with Mick Foley pre 2010. Started pre 90s. And has been in multiple promotions. One of them not being WCW. Whoa. Ooh, Lawler's not a bad one. Who put that? Riley. Everything's was Lawler ever WWE champion though? Probably not. Would you consider like their oh I didn't even think of this. So would you consider their developmental as a federation like OVW or something like that? I'm trying to pinpoint
Oh, I get what you're saying. OVW was
like
its
Ohio
own.
Valley.
OVW wasn't a developmental program, but I
Well,
get what you're saying. But also no.
because I'm trying to figure out if you're like if I'm trying to get a free question out of you because I agree with you that it was their own thing and then they did a lot of work with WWE. Or if it's like an NWA wrestler or someone from Stampede, like Bret Hart, a Canadian. Could this be a Canadian, ladies and gentlemen?
You got 10 more questions. And we're doing
Well, I'm
20.
just gonna say it.
It is 20. Wait, does number 20 have to be your final guess? I'll say no.
Yeah, it has to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's 19 questions and a guess. Is this wrestler Canadian? Oh shit, he was in
Not
WCW though. Damn it.
Canadian.
But that's you know what that still knocks
Canadian?
a lot.
Not Canadian.
Man, this is good wrestling 20 questions here, and I feel like I got a lot of information. But I'm trying to also like metagame knowing you too, who you would want to follow on Twitter.
Well, yeah.
You know what? All right, here's what I'm stuck on to talk it out. Chat. So we're talking about a Oh fuck! Hold on a second. I got stuck on something weird. So I'm thinking multiple promotions, but one of them's not WCW. What if this person showed up in AEW, maybe in a managerial role, and he considered that? Is this wrestler in now in or was ever employed by AEW?
No.
Oh, that was my stretch. I can't figure out what the other. I think if I could figure out what the other promotion is, because who would go from NWA? I'm just trying to think of the big ones, like an NWA or something like that, and then shoot to WWE. Because what's there? So a wrestler. All right. So you know what? All right. Here we go. So I said wrestled pre 2010, and the answer is yes. And they also started before 90.
Mhm.
Did this wrestler's career? Did he have matches? Was this wrestler active after 2000?
Yes.
Oh my God, this is a long career, guys. I'm starting to think Kane it could be a thing. Southern Territories. Is that? Oh my God, guys! Impact. Absolutely, like we need Impact, guys. Oh, he's laughing, guys, chat. I need help. I don't know Impact, and there was a blind spot that like would have never dawned on me. And, and peanut gallery right at Impact is perfect. We need. All right. Was this how many? What are we at? 14. All right, so I can burn this question. Was this wrestler? Did this wrestler wrestle for Impact or any of its other 18 names?
No.
Oh no! Okay, I'm stuck on this, and that's not good. I gotta get off this trade. I saw someone wrote that. I'm like, oh my god, because you loved Impact so much, and I never watched like any of it. Or
'Cause-
TNA. Even TNA is what I meant. You know that, right?
That's because when we watch stuff on YouTube, it's always the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah, right.
It's like
Look
Kurt
at this.
Angle versus Jeff Hardy versus Hulk Hogan versus Sting versus or whatever. It's like every single pay-per-view. I'm like, why did this
Right.
fail? And it's not even like it's like the 90s or early 2000s. I'm like, when did this match happen? Kurt Angle versus fucking John Cena 3 years ago?
All right, I need to iron it out. All right, this is the easiest way for me to do this now. I got a couple questions. I need to iron out when this person was WWE World Champion. Was this person WWE World Champion in the 90s?
Wait, did you say I said world champion? I didn't say WWE world champion.
Oh my god, I am
But-
confusing the WWE and then ISW. You're 100% right. You are 100% right, I'm assuming. But I mean, if you're throwing like helpers out there at this point, I'm accepting. TNA, I saw Tess and Albert. Hendrix, nice joke, buddy. That was funny.
Not WWE champion.
Wow. All right, so a champion somewhere else that's not WCW.
Did
that's not
challenge
Impact.
for it.
Oh, look at all these helpers.
I just couldn't remember if he actually won it or not.
Does this go? Does this work? Someone had told me to ask Memphis, or I'm gonna do it. Did this wrestler wrestle for a? I don't want to just say. All right, did this wrestler wrestle for a Memphis promotion?
Yes.
Oh my God, did Hendrix pull this out?
Yeah, because he cheated again.
No way.
Yeah, because after like
Hendrix
2
isn't
questions,
cheating.
he's been cheating the whole time. He's like, I
Hendrix
swear to
wouldn't cheat.
God.
That's
Yep.
my pizza boy. For heaven's sakes, is your second wrestler Jerry the King Lawler?
We got 4 more questions.
Did your second wrestler wrestle Andy Kaufman?
Who hasn't wrestled Andy Kaufman?
I don't know, one man and a whole bunch of women.
Yeah, exactly. So how much does that narrow it down?
Well, a lot, because I know this is a male wrestler.
Oh, that's true.
Yes! Is it Jerry the King Lawler?
It is.
Yes! I got there all by myself and with the help of the chat and Hendrix
Okay,
and
but-
everybody else.
Yeah.
I love 20 questions. That was great. Great job. All right, so what was some of the questions? So Lawler was never a WWE or WWF champion.
Mm-hmm. But he did challenge the Miz in a ladder match in like 2012 or whatever. But
Wow,
I
really?
don't-
That's something I wasn't watching I have a decade where I literally stopped watching wrestling. That was it. Did that really happen? I need to watch that match. Oh my god.
but I couldn't remember if he actually. But that kind of seems like a match like that he could win. I'm like, wait, did he fucking win that thing?
Oh, Riley called out Jerry Lawler too right at the beginning. Well
True.
done, guys. Oh
2011.
my god. That says something about you, though. I mean, that's good stuff. So your first 2 wrestlers that they're people in general that you followed on Twitter was Jerry the King Lawler and Mick Foley. Oh, what a great game!